Hello, leaders of the world. Welcome to Spread Love in Organizations, a podcast for purpose-driven healthcare leaders striving to make life better around the world by leading their teams with genuine care, servant leadership, and love. This episode is very special. In partnership with ESCP Business School, I'll be giving the mic to students, our leaders of tomorrow, to discuss with incredible healthcare executives about their journeys and leadership beliefs. Serena, Sally, the floor is all yours.
Specialized master students at ESCP Business School in Paris are honored to host Dries Hens in collaboration with SpreadLove and Organizations, who is on a mission to transform healthcare, continuously improving patient outcomes with previously unavailable insights.
We have the pleasure today to chat with Dries Hens. Dries is a medical doctor and a successful entrepreneur. Dries knew he did not want to go toward clinical practice, but still wanted to remain in the field. He wanted to do more in healthcare by making the most of all the unexploited data. In parallel to his studies, he began to set up his own company, LynxCare Clinical Informatic. Dries is currently co-founder, chief business, and medical officer. Actually, LynxCare transforms medical data into insights for hospitals, physicians, and patients. Hospital system is on edge. Today, we have a lot of relevant data. Almost everything is picked up, but the next challenge is, what are we going to do with it? Dries, we are beyond pleased to have you here with us today.
Dries, you have once mentioned that you wanted to do more in healthcare than being a medical doctor, and you wanted to do something that would have an impact. Can you tell us, please, why you had this vision and how data stimulated you to think beyond medicine? I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, so it's of course a long story, but in terms of impact, of course, I have to say that medical doctors really working in hospitals have the real impact of treating patients. But after med school, so I studied Naji medicine. I did it in Belgium. And after 7 years of med school, you have two choices. Or you're going to specialize, for example, in orthopedic surgery, or you become a general practitioner. But for me at that time, I preferred the third option because I was really intrigued by the healthcare ecosystem as a whole. And that's why after med school, I started at l'ESCP, doing biopharmaceutical management. And via this program, I learned really how the whole healthcare ecosystem works, from life science companies to hospitals to insurers, payers. And this is where I saw a lot of opportunity really leveraging my education into a more broader, complete story of really changing healthcare. And at that moment, I was still studying in Paris. So my co-founder contacted me and he said, Dries, let's do something in medical data. And I was directly convinced of the added value that better healthcare means better data. And there's still a lot to do, like you said in the introduction. And that's why, we start the company straight out of l'ESCP, which is right now, a scale up with 35 people. And it's a really nice potential and nice story. Yeah.
That's a very interesting story indeed. Did you ever regret choosing this path?
Yeah, it's a question that I got a few times during the course of the company. So everyone in the beginning, family, friends, of course, found it really weird that I was not specializing or not further advancing really to become a healthcare professional working in hospitals directly with patients. But the moment that we realized, and that's also how I am personally, the moment that I was convinced of the idea and that we had a bigger goal to serve with our company and that I could have maybe an even bigger impact by starting this company and trying to successfully build up this company, that we could really have a further vision or mission is being that we want to improve healthcare by making sure that more and relevant data is becoming actionable towards healthcare professionals. And the first use case that we did with our company, we directly demonstrated that our company really can increase healthcare outcomes without me being really directly involved in the patient process. And that's why from that moment on, I didn't look back and I didn't have any regrets that I'm not active in the hospital today.
Quite impressive, Dries. And what made you the leader you are today? And how are you preparing the floor to the young leaders of tomorrow?
I think I'm of course also still young. I'm now 32 years old, but a big step that you have to learn, because we co-founded the company with one co-founder, so we were two in the beginning, but our company grew quite exponentially the following years, going to 5 to 10 people, then going up to 35 people. So your position as well as an entrepreneur, but also co-founder, changes along the way. And I think my biggest path of learning internally as well was more self-knowledge. So you have to know really if you want to become a leader, or you have to know what you're good at and how you really want to support the company. You have people that are really good in daily management, so on a daily basis managing people within the organization. But this was not really my strongest point. And by being transparent as well to investors or to my other co-founder, of course, we were directly on a path where I could be more motivational and inspirational to young people in the company by letting them in the field of healthcare data, and trying really to push them to blossom in our organization, which in my opinion is crucial. If you want to make sure that your company succeed, you have to make sure that your organization and the people really working in your organization can blossom professionally. And this is still, I think, the biggest impact that you can have as a leader. Yeah.
Based on what you just said, can you link who you are today with an event that shaped you in the past?
Of course, but with a single event, that's of course difficult. You have to know, if you start a company or a scale-up company, it's really a roller coaster. So there are multiple events that shaped who I am today and how I am pursuing my professional and personal life, of course. So it's always a balance. I think the biggest event that changed me professionally is really something personally, being the birth of my first daughter, so my first child, which really gave me the necessary, the necessary hawk eye view on a helicopter view on the company, and which, in my opinion, made me a better leader professionally, because I could zoom out into problems that are not really relevant. Yeah.
That's amazing, Dries. You also mentioned that you started your career from scratch with few people, and you made them blossom. So let's talk about your first hiring experience. Can you tell us about it, and what was the impact on the evolution of LynxCare?
Yeah, so the first real hire that we did is still someone that works in our company. So I remember it well. Because we were on a budget. So my co-founder, Josh, is the CEO of the company. So he is the executive leader of the business in all transparency. But the first guy that we hired, he actually did his internship straight during university as well with us. The moment he finished school, it was really, we knew that we had to get that guy incentivized. And as of today, he's still the lead data engineer in our company, really making sure that the platform is how we are seeing it as co-founders. So that really, of course, was a big impact into our company, and he is still one of the most important people as well in our organization.
How about the fundraising? How challenging did you find it to establish LynxCare?
Yeah, so we had, and you have to know, 5 years ago when we started the company, healthcare data was something that people knew of, but a lot of people thought that the importance of what we are doing was not really there. But Josh and I, we kept going, and we kept really convinced of what our vision and our mission, that healthcare really needs better data. And then, of course, COVID-19 came 2 years ago, where in one moment, everyone saw from whether you worked in healthcare or not, everyone saw the importance of having good data in order to, for example, control a pandemic. And that moment for us was a real game changer, also business-wise, because our business model for our company pivoted a little bit in that case, and that was a real accelerator. So to come back to your question, being fundraising, the first 3 years, it's really difficult for us as a company. It was not that easy to really find the right investors, because the problem was not that, how do you say it, visible through the whole industry. 2 years ago, when COVID-19 hit, everyone jumped on what we were doing, and we are still doing. So fundraising right now for us, in comparison with 4 years ago, is a lot easier. And I have to say, if you, for example, start a company and everybody says you have to start your company with family and friends capital, etc., I'm not a big fan of this, because I'm not a fan of mixing personal with professional life. At first, you really need to have champions in your company, being business angels who already did this before and who can guide you to a first bigger round with venture capital. And that's just crucial. The moment you hit the right metrics, raising funds in the time where there's a lot of money, a lot of cash on the banks to invest, that's not the most difficult one. It's the 0 to 1 that is really the most difficult funding process, in my opinion.
So you have a non-traditional, non-corporate path for a medical doctor. You founded and launched your startup right after graduating from ESCP. Can you give us some tips for the young graduates on how a true leader and entrepreneur has no age limit?
No, exactly. It doesn't have no age limit in terms of being an entrepreneur or starting a company, independent on whether you just graduated or you're already spending 10, 15 years in corporate life, is by really being convinced of something. And being convinced of an idea is simple, but you have to have also on a personal level the drive to really go all in. And this is where, for a lot of people, this is a step difficult to make, in my opinion. I see a lot of great people that have great ideas, but will never jump out of their golden corporate cage in order to develop that idea. But this is something where I as well want to play a part in and try to convince those people, of course, with the right, when the market and the company and the business model is clear, try to push them to becoming an entrepreneur, because it's not the life that everyone thinks of. So it's not the most easy life, to be honest, because I think being or having a startup is often romanticized, or how do you say it in English? It's really a roller coaster, but you have to be ready. The moment that, of course, you can validate your initial idea, or you can validate the mission of why you started this company, and you can put it on paper that you realized it. This idea, this is, I think, in my opinion, the most compelling story to start a company. But you have to be sure, whether or not it's not age related, but you have to be sure that you see opportunities first, and you see or describe risks as challenges to overcome. And not a lot of people do it in that order. Yeah.
Thank you, Dries. Now we would like to jump to another section. I will give you one word and want to get your reaction. I will start with purpose.
For me, purpose is a way of living, of course. You can see purpose as professionally or personally. For me, it's the purpose is, of course, to become happy, to stay healthy, and in that view, my purpose as well is, if I start a company or with LynxCare, what we really are doing is really try to optimize healthcare in a way of using better and more data. So for me, the main purpose being healthy, being active, and being happy, are the 3 points that are crucial in everything I do. So there will always be, of course, a link professionally and personally, but this is what comes up to me when I hear purpose. Yeah.
So inspiring. Leadership.
Leadership for me is the best leaders are invisible at the moment that the company goes well, because if you have a lot of young talented, or not only young but talented people in your company, and the company goes well, then they deserve all the credit. In my opinion, true leader is when some things are not going well in the company, that steps up and gives all the tools and support necessary to make sure that the internal issues or problems are being solved. And that's for me true leadership.
What about technology?
Technology is a mean to achieve a certain goal. For example, in LynxCare, we are a really technology product-driven business, but the real capital or the real value is still in the people working in our organization. So I think technology is always a mean to go from place A to B, but it shouldn't be the end goal.
How about MSM?
Yeah, a great project. A great program. You know that I'm really always happy when I land in Paris or in London to give the yearly courses. I think if I speak personally, I think that everyone that studies medicine or studies PharmD should have during his education the opportunity to be included in a certain track like we have at the MSM at l'ESCP. For me, it was a game changer because in 6 months' time, you really know quite well how healthcare ecosystem is working, but also by seeing so many professionals talking about what they do at their company, you can really make up for yourself what really interests you as a person and where you think you can blossom. Because again, I think leadership starts with knowing what you are good at and pursuing in something that you're good at. Of course, a true leader as well knows his weak points, and then it's a question, are you going to solve them yourselves, or are you going to be surrounded by team members that can make up for your flaws?
Now we will end with the word spread love in organizations.
Yes, spread love. If I'm looking at the trajectory that we did with our company, because that's the thing that I know best with LynxCare. In the beginning, it's really chaotic, and especially if you don't have too many people in your organization and you have to do a lot of work, then I can look back, of course, and as well see that we made errors as the beginning founders of this company by maybe pushing sometimes people in the company too much because we have a lot to do, a lot on our plate, and we didn't make enough time maybe to really support people the right way. And this was really as well for me a learning exercise by creating the time and really creating as well an environment where people can get the necessary support and feedback. But in all honesty, this is of course something that you can do from a certain scale in a company. I think it's not that easy to do it directly from the beginning. But if I would start again with my company, I think we would be much more susceptible as well from a management perspective to how our co-workers or the people in our organization really feeling. And by, for example, 2 years ago, there was an experienced COO joining our company. And the first thing that he did was he implemented a survey system where each month or every 2 months, all the people can fill in a survey, and we can see how happy they are with the workload, how happy they are in the organization, what they want to do, etc., etc. But that gave us so many insights really to be better as well from a management perspective in the company. And that would be something that I directly as well would implement.
Any words of wisdom, Dries, for leaders and entrepreneurs and healthcare around the world?
Yeah, of course, as a true leader, I just want to not only incentivize people, but for me, we are taking big steps in healthcare in general. There are a lot of big companies transforming the way how they are looking at healthcare. I think it's a positive evolution where really value-based healthcare comes into play, hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years. We're still not there, but I'm convinced that everyone that listens to this, as well as everyone that works in the industry, works for insurances, but also works for in hospitals, the real healthcare providers, that everyone really is aligned in a value-based healthcare model, and that's for me something crucial for the coming years. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experience with us today.
Thank you all for listening to Spread Love in Organizations podcast. We have such an important responsibility as leaders of today to plant the seeds for the leaders of tomorrow. Connect with us on SpreadLoveIO.com and subscribe to your favorite podcast platform. Most importantly, spread love in your organizations and spread the word around you to inspire others and amplify this movement our world so desperately needs.